honor to introduce our next speaker. She is a good friend of mine. She is also mother of 8 little children. We used to live in the same area when we lived in Canada. And she's actually the reason why I am here. So she introduced me to Young Living 10 years ago. So I'm forever thankful for her because she didn't give up asking me if I would like to join Young Living. And finally, after 5 years of asking me, I said yes. So we have had absolutely wonderful memories together. And now we live in Finland and you and your family lives in the US. We can do so much together still because of Young Living. So Trisha, it's your turn.
Thank you, Amelia. Can you hear me all right on that end?
Yes,
okay.
We can.
Okay. So hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited and honored to be here. I'm so thrilled that Amelia asked me to come and speak. As she explained, we have a lot of history between the two of us. And I'm so happy that we are on this journey together because we can still maintain that connection even through work. I'm also so happy that you all set aside this time to focus on you and your family's health. I believe so strongly that the quality of life can be ripped right out from under us if we don't have our health. Many of you have probably seen it with yourself or with family members. The reality is, though, it's just little changes that can make all the difference. So I'm going to keep it super simple today for you. First, though, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and why I do what I do. I was brought up in the medical world and followed my dream to be a nurse. I absolutely loved being a nurse. I loved caring for people. I loved taking care of people. But I saw the reality of what healthcare was all about. And I thought many times, I hope I never get sick. At the age of 29, my eyes were really opened when I was having knee issues. The medical world had nothing to offer me except surgery. I would finish going on a walk or a bike ride, and I would come home with a sore knee. It was even difficult to go up and down stairs without pain. I knew at age 29 that I had to figure this out because I could have many pregnancies for many years, and operating with a painful knee wasn't in my idea of a good life ahead of me. So the thought of either dealing with that pain or going for surgery were both daunting to me. I had taken care of many patients who had been through knee surgery. And one thing I learned was that surgery doesn't always go the way it's planned to go. And sometimes patients end up with lifelong challenges related to that surgery. So to me, it's like a last option. So I started searching for options. And in that search, I found 2 amazing Young Living supplements. And along with exercise, I was brought back to functioning normally once again. Now I know the question's going to come, so I'll just tell you the 2 supplements I used were sulfurzyme and BLM. BLM stands for bones, ligaments, and muscles. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. All right, now you get to see my 8 children. So after I got my knee fixed, I started working on my husband and kids. They were like my guinea pigs. I had been giving my husband allergy shots like as spring was approaching.
Trisha,
Yeah.
wait. Trisha,
Yeah.
wait. The screen is, we can't see the picture.
Okay, let me change it. I'm going to share in a different way then. Stop share, and I'm just going to share desktop. Now, can you?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So these people you see on the screen became my guinea pigs. I had been giving my husband allergy shots before spring came because his allergies would get so bad to the environmental things floating around. And of course, he didn't like getting shots. He's a big man, he's strong, he has a lot of power in his mind. But when I came at him with that needle, he might have dropped to the floor sometimes. So he was willing to try anything. He started using lavender behind his ears and at the bottom of his feet, morning and night. And I have to be honest, I don't love the smell of lavender, but I love what it does. Along with the lavender, he cleaned up his diet. He was drinking Ningxia Red. And at the same time, we were cleaning out the house of the toxic stuff that we learned we didn't need. Since then, he has never needed allergy shots again. So another story I want to share with you is a few of our kids suffered from baby asthma growing up, which was really hard to deal with. And I just gave what the doctor suggested because I didn't know what other options there were. So of course we used inhalers and nebulizers and other medications. I knew they were bad for them, especially with prolonged use. But again, what else to use? Until Young Living came to our life. Very soon, we never needed those asthma medications again. So I started reading in the essential oil desk reference and various books. I just wanted to learn more. My brain was like a sponge. Every day I would open the book to whatever page and read for 15 minutes. I attended convention every year that I could. And if you can go to convention, amazing, amazing opportunity. Go if you can. You will learn so much. Day by day, medications went out the window and oils became normal for us. I remember sometimes that this information has to be shouted on the mountaintops because it was just so incredible. And I had gone through all of nursing school, not even knowing what essential oil was. Still today, I have those moments where I feel like I should go shout on the mountaintops. So I know there are many people struggling with illnesses and various issues, not knowing what to do. Today, I want to give you hope for a new life with wellness and a mindset to try something new. Some of you may know our founder, Gary Young, but probably many of you have not met him. I'm sure Amelia has shared stories about this amazing guy and his wife, Mary. He did deal with various bouts of criticism over the years because he knew how to truly help people, and not many people know how to do that. One thing that Gary told his new members in the beginning was to do cleansing first. When we cleanse our bodies, we respond better to the oils. So I'm going to teach you some really easy ways to do cleansing with the awesome products that we have access to. But first, here are some signs that perhaps you might need a cleanse. Maybe you're always tired or having these cravings. Maybe you have sleep problems or digestive or skin issues. Perhaps you have bad breath or body odor, or maybe you smell it on your spouse or friend. Maybe it's frequent headaches or mood issues. Whatever it be, those could be some signs that you need to do some cleansing. So let's talk about what would cause us to need to cleanse in the first place. We must be aware that our body is absorbing things everywhere we go, no matter how much we try to avoid it. There are things we can eliminate, such as products we use in the house, the food we put in our mouth, the places we go, and maybe even the people that we spend time with. You get to decide which toxins you are willing to cut out of your life. You can either switch those all at once or do it one at a time. Both are good, but you just need to know what is most sustainable for you to succeed at this new lifestyle. You may not understand all the words on this page unless you read really good English. But my point with this picture here is that our skin is the largest organ of our body. And what we put on our skin goes in our body, often doing harm. Now, unless we grow our own food, it can be tough to get nutrients nowadays, good nutrients. So much of what's sold in the grocery stores is processed or loaded with bad stuff. If we put bad stuff in our mouth, we're going to get a bad feeling. We're going to have bad stuff throughout our cells. Sugar can lead to inflammation. Too many carbs create too much sugar in the body. Too much dairy can cause issues as well. Most of all, though, keep an eye on those processed foods. That, can we even call it food? Now, it can be difficult, but you should really read the labels on the products you use. And then get rid of those that are no longer serving you. And I challenge you to make it a spring cleaning goal. Do one cupboard at a time. You will be amazed at how many things you have been using and putting on your body every day that are doing your body harm. At least I know I was amazed. And I went through a phase that I was actually a bit upset or angry or frustrated, especially when I put these things on my babies. I thought that if it's on the shelf at the store, it must be safe. I learned otherwise. Thankfully, though, we have an awesome selection with Young Living to replace all those toxic products that are doing nothing good for us. So let yourself start over. Yes, you can say, oh, why did I do that? Why did I use that? Why didn't I know better? But now, when you know better, you do better. So that's okay. Leave that in the past and move forward. The reality is that you will either pay now to get yourself the good stuff, or you're going to pay later to try get yourself out of disease. The main thing is that you need to do something different in order to see change. So let's talk about some really easy options that you could probably do today. Use your plus oils daily. Adding lemon plus or grapefruit plus or any other citrus oils to your water is an awesome way to get rid of toxins in your body and just let the cells perform at their optimum power. Drink your Ningxia Red. My kids like to drink it straight. I like to drink it with water, with my morning supplements. It's so full of many good things that I just can't imagine being without it. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen that I like to get my supplements in right away in the morning. Then I'm off to a great start. If I have a need for afternoon pick-me-up, I will grab a Ningxia Zing and then add a couple of ounces of Ningxia Red to it. And if you have the nitro there, do you have the nitro there? I think you do. Yeah. Okay, so I'll put Ningxia Red, Ningxia Zing, and the nitro all in a glass together, and that's like my afternoon pick-me-up if I'm feeling a slouch. I did notice actually that Zing is on sale in Europe right now, so grab your Zing and try it. It's 15% off. When I look at Ningxia Red and I realize how much it has done for our family, my only regret with it is that I didn't learn about it earlier in my Young Living journey. And as you go through your journey, you will learn more why I say what I say. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and this one does it for me. So make sure you can see all the way over to the right side of your screen where it shows the Ningxia Wolfberry on the scale. I mean, we all know that blueberries and Brussels and all those other broccoli, spinach, we know that they're good for us. But do we ever hear about the wolfberry? No, but it's like amazing for us. And to me, it's so much easier than washing, cutting up, and serving all those fruits and vegetables. We still eat them, but I don't worry about my kids lacking their nutrients and their bowels getting backed up. They just take their shot of Ningxia Red every morning and they're good to go. So there's all kinds of recipes online that you can use with your Ningxia Red, but here's a couple for you. You can take a screenshot or take a picture of it. Couple of yummy ones. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more in depth on cleansing. But before we talk about the options, I have to share about this important information on bioavailability. So just take a moment to read the screen. So now you know why we say that not all supplements are equal. It's really a bummer to waste your time and money on something that's not doing the job for you. So I am so thankful we have Young Living supplements that are actually doing the job. Okay, this may look like a really off-putting picture to you, but this is such an important topic. If you're not moving your bowels at least once per day, sometimes it's better to say 2 to 3 times per day, then that's not good. If you eat daily, you should be going to the bathroom daily. The consistency of bowel should be like soft serve ice cream. So if you look at number 4, type 4, that's what we're looking for. If you're blocked up or not having good bowel consistency, your liver's not doing the best job it can. And you're probably not absorbing the food that you're putting in your body. And probably not absorbing those supplements that you're giving your body. Think of it like emptying the garbage can. We all know how it goes. If you let it pile up and pile up, it starts spilling over, right? It gets stinky. The same is happening in your body. The waste might be trying to get out through your skin, which would then give you a rash. Maybe you find red spots or something. It might be trying to get out through your head, and then you get a headache or brain fog. I want to show you this video animation of how we get bloated in our belly. studies are now showing that the visceral bloat around the gut is what could be causing us so many problems. It also will just help you understand why cleansing is so important. I'm not going to have any volume on here, but you can see very well from the video what you need to learn from it.
Bloating is defined as a sense of gasness. The abdomen. There's a lot of impact of food in constipation or liquid substances such as abdominal fluid, known as ascites, in some patients that have advanced liver disease. This animation, however, is going to be covering the most common form of bloating, and that is due to gas. Now, gas in the gut can come from different sources. The 5 most common gases found in the gut are nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and methane. There are also trace amounts of other gases. We know that nearly all the nitrogen and oxygen in the upper part of the gut comes from the swallowing of air. Carbon dioxide in the gut can come from swallowing air, drinking carbonated beverages, or from diffusion from the bloodstream into the gut. Carbon dioxide can also be generated from the neutralization of acids and alkalis in the upper gut after eating. The most important process for gas production in the gut comes from the fermentation of foods in the colon by bacteria. Most carbohydrates in our diet, once broken down, can be absorbed through pumps on the surface of cells in your small intestine. But there are some carbohydrates that are incompletely or not digested at all within the small intestine and therefore can't be absorbed. These rapidly fermentable short-chain carbohydrates that can't be digested in the small intestine are called FODMAPs. The presence of FODMAPs causes water to be dragged into the small intestine. FODMAPs arrive at the colon, and it's there that bacteria can utilize FODMAPs for energy to fuel the cells that line the colon. The colon bacteria rapidly ferment FODMAPs and produce gas. It is the excess gas production and water retention that causes the intestines to expand. We know that, therefore, the amount of the gas produced in the colon depends on the type and amount of bacteria in the colon, the speed of food moving through the intestines, and the types of foods being consumed. Now we know what causes gas production in the gut. It makes sense that avoiding some types of foods, such as these FODMAP foods, can reduce gas production and therefore bloating. But I have to say that gas production is not the only explanation for why a person can experience bloating. We know this because in studies of persons with irritable bowel syndrome, we find they don't produce more intestinal gas than other persons who don't have bloating. This can happen because of impaired small bowel transit, where there can be a holdup of gas in the small bowel because of abnormal peristalsis. And we know that retention of gas can be due to the types of food we eat. For example, fats classically can cause retention of gas in the first part of the small bowel. Additionally, some people can't evacuate gas very well, and that can result in retention of gas in the colon and therefore symptoms of bloating and abdominal pain. People suffering from functional chronic constipation are known to be less able to evacuate gas from the rectum and thus are much more likely to develop symptoms of abdominal distension. The gut is inside the abdomen, and if there is a change in the volume and pressure of the gut, then this is going to affect the abdomen. If the gaseous contents of the gut increases, then the abdomen can expand. The diaphragm, which is that muscle under the lungs that separates the chest and abdomen and facilitates breathing, that can be pushed higher up into the chest, or the abdominal pressure can increase. In healthy adults, we tend to contract the abdominal muscles, that is, stiffen the abdominal wall if there is increased gas in the gut. However, in some patients with bloating, they can do the opposite. That is, relax the abdominal wall muscles to accommodate this increase in volume. And this is what we call an abnormal viscerosomatic reflex. In particular, some muscle groups of the abdominal wall, such as the internal oblique muscles, are relaxed in these patients with bloating. And we find the diaphragm descends, and that means the abdominal girth increases. A final important element in causing the symptoms of bloating is visceral hypersensitivity. When the intestinal wall stretches from distension, the highly connected nerves around the intestine send signals to the brain. People with IBS often have hypersensitivity, and this means that ordinary small changes in the volume of the gut can be perceived as bloating. Some very sensitive people might perceive the sensation of bloating without any volume change in the gut whatsoever. In fact, they can perceive bloating in response to normal contractions of the gut. I hope you found that animation insightful.
Okay. Are we back on screen? Okay. So I know it's kind of gross to think about this topic and everything, but what if you're thinking yourself that, man, I've gained a lot of weight and I need to go on a diet or something? It could be that you are just bloated from the stuff that you're eating or maybe not eliminating. So it could be as simple as doing a cleanse to get rid of whatever's sitting inside of you and then start fresh with better things going in your mouth. So the cleanse I'm going to talk about now is called the cleansing trio.
Hi.
Oops.
Dr. Vince.
Oh, I gotta skip it over to the other one, I guess, without. Here we go. We don't want to play that again. So the cleansing trio consists of Comfortone, ICP, and essential zymes. Comfortone helps to get things moving. This is something I bring with when I'm traveling because things slow down when you're sitting a lot and not eating properly or not getting enough water. ICP is, well, let's talk about essential zymes first. It's just the main, it's the one that's going to help absorb the nutrients that you're giving your body. And then the ICP is added in once the bowels are moving well. It helps to bulk things up and clean the inner walls of the bowel so residue isn't getting left inside. Often those things that get left inside are what cause us bigger issues down the road. I did notice that ICP you get free this month with a 250 PV order, so good time to do a cleanse. The Inner Transformation book goes through this whole cleanse really, really well, but I'm not sure what languages it comes in. Maybe if there's enough interest, it could be translated. I don't know. So here's another option, the 5-day cleanse. This is suggested to take a minimum of 4 times a year with continued nutritional maintenance. It consists of the Ningxia Red, or energy and nutrition, Balance Complete, which is like your meal, and then the digesting cleanse to soothe the gastrointestinal system and to support that digestion. Now, I have to tell you, when I have taken this during pregnancy or nursing times, I have needed extra snacks. So if you pull up the 5-day cleanse online, there's a guide to tell you when you can have snacks and what are some good snack options. So I just found that I needed more snacks during those times, and that's okay. Okay, so now you know a little bit on how to cleanse your physical body to get you started. Let's see what we can do to cleanse the emotions, or we like to say release the emotions. Did you know that a lot of physical illnesses come from emotions that are stuck in our bodies? And as important as it is to release those emotions, it can be really difficult, especially for us introverts. The good thing is we have access to so many incredible emotional oils for just about any emotion that you might deal with. So, as Lisa already talked about, Europe now has the Reconnect Kit. I am excited, so excited for you guys, and I would love to hear testimonies from you once you've used it. So the best way to use essential oils for emotions is aromatically, or by smelling. This is because when we smell something, it goes immediately to the limbic system of the brain, which is the center for emotions. It's almost as though we can flip a switch on our emotions by smelling oils. So don't underestimate the power of the nose. Now, I have a question for you guys because I think you're like the best ones to ask this question to. Is it true that if one sense is not working, all the others work that much better? Because you guys, if anybody, would know. Put in the chat there if you have a response for me on that one. Maybe you will have the best noses and soon be able to tell us what the constituents are in the oils without even looking in the book. That's what Gary could do. Okay, let's talk about release. This is an excellent oil to start with to let go of things that you're hanging on to. Some say that using it with acceptance is a great idea because then you can release those emotions, accept whatever comes with that release, and then let it go. If you have negative feelings that start coming up, or something that you don't like, then grab your happy oils. So I'm going to share a couple of stories of how I have used emotional oils in my past. So there was a time that my husband and I were having a hard time communicating with each other. It was like we couldn't get the words out of how we were feeling. We were both getting very frustrated with each other and kind of expected each other to be able to read the minds, which of course we can't. So we did an experiment. We started using Idaho Blue Spruce. Did you know that Idaho Blue Spruce has been known to go up to 580 megahertz in frequency? That's more than rose oil. Rose has been coming in at 320, and it's known to be one of the highest frequency oils in the world. So we know there is power in Idaho Blue Spruce. I think it was around a week after we started using it that we had a whole new marriage. We could communicate again with each other. And I remember when this was, because I was telling Empu about it, and I'm sure she noticed, you know, their family was with us many times. It was like we didn't have those feelings festering inside anymore. So we have learned that just smelling Idaho Blue Spruce can open and release emotional blocks, bringing a feeling of balance and peace. So this one is a must-have oil for emotions. Now this next story I'm going to share was after a very difficult miscarriage. I was having a really hard time moving on. I couldn't stop crying for weeks. I walked around the house like a zombie. And even though this is really important for you because you guys are all learning about this now and potentially will be teaching people later. Even though I had been teaching about oils for a few years, my mind was in such a dark place that I didn't know what to do. My husband called Amelia and asked her what to do with this wife of his. And she said, Trisha needs frankincense and orange. So I used that every day, multiple times. And within 2 weeks, I was back to being me again. I think I would have been one of those moms on some sort of medication had I not been able to use these tools. So I am so thankful for them once again. Now, remember, when you are in a place like that, if you ever are, go ask somebody else for help. Even if you think that you should know the answer, it's okay. You can go and ask somebody else. So the last thing I'm going to talk about with emotions is how our hormones can affect them hugely. If your hormones are off balance, your emotions probably are too. I have found a really easy fix with the Progessence Phyto Plus. I actually didn't think I needed it, but I did another experiment and just started using it. Within a month, I knew I needed it. And my husband is very thankful for me using it as well. It's amazing for balancing hormones and in turn, emotions. I don't have those monthly lows anymore. So if you haven't tried the Progessence Plus, this is a good month to put it on your Essential Rewards because I noticed it's 10% off this month. And then tell me in 1 month after you use it every day, how you're feeling. How is your monthly schedule going? Do it for yourself. So just in a little review, let's talk about this. Number 1, clean up your home. Eliminate any products that are not serving your body well and start replacing them. The Thieves line is a perfect place to start. 1 bottle of Thieves cleaner. Clean up your body. Use your oils and Ningxia Red. And then just choose a cleanse that you would like to try. Personally, I would use the cleansing trio first and then move to the 5-day cleanse, but you do what you prefer. And then clean up your mind. Smell your oils every day with intention. So when I say with intention, think about what's going on in your life. Think about what you want to attract and then smell. Get your Idaho Blue Spruce and women, your Progessence Plus. So thank you everybody for listening to me. I look forward to hearing how your cleansing goes, and I will turn it back to Amelia.
Thank you, Trisha. Thank you. That was a lot of information. So did you learn something new? Who is gonna do the cleansing? Body cleansing? Who is gonna do emotional release? Who is gonna change their home products into Thieves? Who is gonna do all of this? Hey, now we're gonna